Hey Connor, how you doing? Me, V-Man, I am cooking. Bloody waiting for summer to be over. Someone said he wins the race. Managed to do that a while back. Just now thought about it. Alright, that should make things easier. Yeah, mate. All the blow torching. What's up with me? It's bloody hot. Yeah, it's bloody hot. What's up with me? Cough, cough. Lard. Broach. Tell you what, this brooch is so worth the 5 minutes it took me to make. What have I been doing? Lots of knife work. Come on. Really? Come on. Now my piezoelectric knife has died. Yes. I think water's got in there. Now it's working. Oh, far out. All right. Back in a second. No, I'm not going to singe my beard. I'm well practiced at not singeing my beard. I can't believe you would take pleasure in my misfortune. And you call yourselves fans. So what I'm doing right now is burning in the tang. I'm pushing the wood into the heated up section of steel to get the depth I need on a tang slot. To get the depth I need. That's really annoying. I blame Alex. It is a little bit wonky. Yeah, he mentioned the piezoelectric igniter on my burner today and how he was jealous about it. So he must have sent a curse my way to kill the piezoelectric igniter. So I blame Alex. It is slightly wonky, but that's okay because it's part of why I use excess wood. Come on. He doesn't have a piezoelectric igniter on his. You might just have to steal the blowtorch altogether. That's why he mentioned mine, is because he was jealous. I think one more burn and we'll be set. This is a bit of a rougher burn than I normally do. That's going to get irritating. Very dirty water. Yeah, I saw your comment, mate. I just didn't have time to reply because I was getting set up for this. If you're wondering why I'm fighting this so hard, it's because earlier in the making process of this handle, I snapped the drill bit off. inside the handle. Well, there's only one person watching now. And that would be you. Scared him off, mate. Oh, there you go. Couple more coming in. Wrong side. Dumbass Samuel. One more. One more beat. Gun night. Can be. That's because Galax doesn't pay attention to his notifications. Yeah, it's a good idea. Looks a lot worse in 480. Hey, Hass. Not much, man. Boiling and burning. The usual. Here's my brooch. Broach out the interfering material. Hopefully I can get a little bit more leeway. I think that'll do it. That's it. Up, down, left, right. It's good. Right. That's that done. Yep, it's done. And how's it going, Haas? Thanks for tuning into the stream, buddy. Welcome to the channel. I'm not sure if you've already subscribed, but if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button if you want to see more awesome stuff like this, me sweating my ass off while I burn some steel. I will only be doing daily live streams up until the Perth Night Show. After that, I'll be going back to my regular broadcast schedule of probably one live stream a week and one standard upload a week. All right. So handle block burned. Blade was nice and safe from the nastiness behind the oh man, you know, it's the way I go. It's the way I sell my channel. To let everyone know that I'm, you know, real. apparently scares people off. That's all right. As it has been said. Right then. Not sure what dealio with that is. No idea yet, Connor. Not the foggiest. It'll be a giveaway of some kind. Probably should have fixed this before I mounted the handle for it, just in case I snap it. I hope I don't. Yeah, mate, that's all you can do, is hope. Well, that straightened it out. It's nice when that goes well. Not so nice when it doesn't go well. When it doesn't go well, things tend to go snap, and you have two pieces of blade rather than one blade.
Alright, so now I just need to make sure that the piece is in line with the stuff and the thing and the hoo-ha. Do it. To the grinder. Huzzah. Alright, that leaves enough room for the guard. And it's all in line, thankfully. Sweet. There you go. Hey Bob, how you doing, mate? Thanks for jumping in. Hopefully you're having a good day. As you can see, it's bloody warm up here. Or down here, I should say, down under. Have a good night. Stay warm. Not a problem I have. Look at me. No worries, mate. See ya. Needs to be a little bit deeper. All right. I might just file it off the end of the tang, to be honest. That's a thing I can do. I don't normally suggest shortening your tangs to ridiculous lengths, but I've only got to remove like 1 millimeter, so I'm going to do that because it's going to be the simplest and easiest fix. Once I can sort out where I left my vise. I have many vices. This is but one of them. Actually, I can clamp the tang. That will make it easier to file. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of making a joke there, Connor. The word vice can mean, obviously, a vice that sits on your workbench is spelled V-I-S-E. A vice that, you know, a bad habit is spelled V-I-C-E. Hence things like Miami Vice and stuff like that. So I was doing a play on words. I have many vices, as in bad habits, but this is just but one of them. How did that get even shallower? Measured it almost perfectly. I think you mean new as in N-E-W, not K, N-E-W. New as being the first time, or, you know, new something. Like a newborn baby. New with a K is something you have known. I knew that. Well, this channel is educational. You'll learn something new. I'll give you some advice on filing. Files are only created to cut in one direction, away from the handle. The teeth all point all point in that direction. So therefore, there's no point in drawing back and forth when you're filing. You should only file in one direction. And if your file starts chattering, and you're obviously not getting a very good cut, it's making little ripples in the surface, that's when one of these comes in handy. They're like $15 from Bunnings. This one's made by Trojan. So it's a file card, and you can find it in the filing section. It's just basically a very fine-tooth steel brush, but it's designed for clearing file teeth. And you can increase the life of your files spectacularly by using them properly and keeping them clean when you're using them. Yeah, so the thing is that on the draw stroke, the file teeth aren't cutting because they're all pointing in that direction, so therefore you're just drawing the teeth back over the piece, and that actually blunts the teeth faster than if you just file in the one direction. The other thing that blunts teeth is it not necessarily blunts the teeth, but it if you leave it to clog up quite a bit, then what ends up happening is you end up with filings getting clogged in the teeth and rusting in place or getting glued in place, and that means that tooth no longer cuts. So that's why having a file card and using it regularly will increase the life of your files. But that's perfect fit up. So only shortened the tang by about 1.5 millimeters. It's not going to be a big deal in the long run. Always keep your filing surfaces clean. Or hand sanding surfaces. You always want to make sure that your hand sanding surfaces are nice and clean, because any leftover grit or filings can scratch the underside of your blade. Just using a worn out piece of 800 grit that I was using on a blade earlier, just to polish the surface of my sanding block. I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. Alright, so this is the guard block for that knife that I was just fitting a handle to. And I've got to sand the face of this. And this is where it helps to have a flat surface as well, because all I do is lay the block of whatever I'm making the guard out of on the flat surface on the sandpaper. Hold the sandpaper in place. You can tape it down if you want to. I don't bother. I just hold it down. And then run it backwards and forwards. When the sandpaper starts to get clogged up, flip it around. It helps if you do this on like a granite surface plate or something that's really flat. I actually have an aluminium surface plate I'm supposed to pick up at some point. But yeah, it helps to have a very flat object to sand on, because then you get very flat surfaces. If you're using a surface plate, I would suggest taping the sandpaper to the surface, because that way you'll get the best flatness, because it'll be holding it perfectly in place. For this, I'm not worried about it being 100% to within 1,000th flat, but it certainly does help to have it as flat as possible. Now, the aluminium surface plate that I'm getting is was milled to within a half thousandth, which is very fine. Once your sandpaper starts looking like that, throw it away. It's not useful anymore. Sandpaper can be expensive, but it's not that expensive. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that those kinds of surface plates are designed for machinists, for people who are going to be lapping things together to be a seamless fit. And I hope that one day my craftsmanship can match my tooling. Once I get down to where I'm close to finish, I'm going to draw in one direction and I'm going to lift off at the end to avoid J-hooks in my sanding marks. And if you don't know what a J-hook is, grab yourself a piece of 180 grit sandpaper, take it to a piece of mirrored steel, and try and get an even, consistent finish by scrubbing it backwards and forwards. And you'll find that at the end of each stroke, there are these little J's. That's called J-hooks. So instead, you stroke in one direction and lift off at the end, and you get an even, consistent finish. It's the same thing I do with my blades. Like at the moment, you can see there's an inconsistency. You can see little J-hooks down here. Those things at the edge of the light. There's some more up in here. So I've got to get rid of all of those in order for it to be to my standard. And one of my favorite smiths has always said, you're only as good as the last piece you made, so make every piece you make your best. Because you never know when the piece that's getting looked at is going to be being looked at by someone who judges your work. I try and behave as if my work is going to be judged by those mastersmiths I find to be the most inspirational, because it inspires me to improve the quality of my work far beyond what I would normally expect of myself. I don't expect perfection, because expecting perfection is foolish, but I expect to pursue it. My dad loves saying, a wise man strives for perfection, only a fool expects to achieve it. And I try and keep that with me. It is tedious, but it's time consuming, but it's very worth it for me to be able to take pride in my work. To say it is exactly the best that I can do. Because if it's not the best I can do, then what the hell am I doing? Why do I bother? There you go. J-hook's gone. nice and shiny. And yep, nice and shiny and even is the main one. That's it. If you're not trying, then why bother? Now, onto the blade sanding. First side I'll do, I won't bother putting anything under it. But then on the second side that I do, I'm going to put a little piece of paper towel underneath it so that it protects it from the surface. Because even though I've cleaned the surface completely, I still don't want any little flecks of steel or sanding dust or anything like that to get onto my finish and screw up the hours and hours and hours of labor that I've already put in. Because realistically, at that point, if I'm cutting corners, then all I'm doing is cheating myself. I'm not cheating anyone else. And measure my worth. I will be using Araldite, the 3-day set stuff, 30-minute. It's 3-hour work time, 3-day set. Yeah, 72-hour set Araldite. It's the strongest Araldite you can get. I know a lot of guys that use Blade Bond. It's expensive and it's hard to get a hold of, so I don't have any. But I would also advise using Blade Bond if you're ever interested in making knives. This one will also have a pin. Yeah, Blade Bond epoxy is probably the best on the market for that, and there's a couple of different fiberglass cements that I know that a couple of my friends in the bladesmithing community use. But being the slightly impoverished bladesmith that I am, I use what I can get my hands on. And you want to use the stuff with the longest set time because it's normally got the strongest bond. At this point, I'm in the build. I'm using WD-40 or RP7 actually, but I'm using a form of lubricant oil, very light oil, to sand my blade with. I don't do it normally because it breaks down the sandpaper a lot faster than just water or Windex or anything like that. But it has the slight advantage of not rusting the underside of the blade as you work it, which the other two can and will. Got to keep an eye on the time because I've only got about 20 minutes left on this stream because I've got a baseball game to go to. I keep them oiled, and I keep them in a dry area. Patinating is one thing, like, all carbon steels will develop a patina just through time, but also if they come into contact with anything rather relatively acidic, like fruit, veggies, blood, that kind of stuff, they will turn grey and then, eventually turn blackish. But red rust should not develop. The only way red rust should develop is if you're leaving it in contact with acidic things for too long, such as if you leave it stored in a leather sheath for a long time, because leather has tannins and stuff like that in it that will damage the steel. What's up, Les? Not play? You mean you can't view the stream? You having any problems, Connor? All seems fine on my end. I don't know what Les is suffering then. Sorry, Les. As far as I can tell, the stream's running just fine. Right, looks good. Looks good. As I said before, final strokes should all be in one direction along the length of the blade. No back and forth action on the final strokes. You want to get rid of all of those J-hooks. And when I wipe it off in the same direction because there might be little flecks of sanding grit and stuff like that in it. Tedious, yes. Worthwhile, depends on who you ask. It is to me, and that's the most important. Yeah, fair enough. And just recently, in the last year or so, got into baseball again. Love watching it. It's the Yank in me. Plus, it's a relatively fast-paced game, so it's easy to maintain interest while it's going on. Well, that's true. I don't actually have any Yank in me. It's just my Yank in my personality. Yo. Alrighty. That's the bell, boys. The dinner bell, that is. That means I'm going to have to call the stream. And parting is such sweet sorrow. But that's okay. I will be back tomorrow at it again. And this blade won't rust in the meantime, thankfully. As a finishing look, I'll give you a look at the blade from my perspective. Nice and shiny, and even, and crisp, and clean. No J-hooks. That's what you want in a finish. Nice straight lines, no J's, no nothing. Perfect. Alright guys, thank you very much for sticking with me while I burned some wood and did some other things with steel. I'm very dirty and I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go have a shower before we go to baseball. But yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow with more of probably this same blade and working on others. So catch up with you then. Cheers guys. Never worked.